Thanks, Anine. Yesterday, we brought you the story of a demonic game which has been making the rounds in schools across the country. Charlie Charlie, the game in which the so-called spirit of Charlie is called up and asked questions. He then responds by moving certain objects. Earlier this year, a Durban teenager allegedly committed suicide due to his involvement with these type of what they call satanic rituals now. Principals from several primary and high schools have since banned the game, saying any pupil caught playing it will be expelled immediately. Now, games like this one have been around for a long time, but it seems that social media has now allowed for these type of practices to be shared all over and become very popular overnight. Hence the Charlie Charlie hashtag. Now, to talk about the role of social media in cases like this, we are joined by the Managing Director of Roy Africa, Tonya Khoury. Good morning, Tonya. Nice to have you back with us.
Good morning, Evan. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Interesting. What have you picked up with hashtag Charlie Charlie on the different social media platforms?
Well, I had a really good look yesterday at this story, and it seems to me that it's very much South America centric. It seems to be focused in the South America region more than anywhere else in the world. We brought some charts with us today. At the bottom right, you can have a look at the heat map, and you'll see that the continent of South America glows red more than anywhere else.
Yes.
So I think that's where it originated. It seems to have started in Mexico, and it seems to have spread through the South American continent. Not very big in the rest of the world. South Africa is on the chart, definitely on the chart.
Yeah, see, we're in red.
Yeah, we're definitely glowing red. It seems to me there's an awful lot of hoax stuff out there.
Okay.
People on Twitter posting their own Charlie Charlie video and making fun of the so-called satanic ritual. The worrying thing, obviously, Urban, is the fact that the only way to get out of the Charlie Charlie challenge itself is by killing yourself.
Killing yourself.
You know?
We've seen some suicides.
Yeah, so that makes it something that worth paying attention to. But we've seen these throughout our lives. You know, we had the Ouija board and
the glass. When I was a kid, we played with the glassy thing,
exactly.
all that kind of stuff. But
exactly.
But we didn't have to kill ourselves to stop playing it.
We didn't, which is true. So yeah, we've had a look across the world. News media contributing a good third of the coverage to the Charlie Charlie challenge, and then social media following behind. South Africa, it comes in at the top 4 in the countries across the world reporting on the Charlie Charlie challenge or talking about it in social media. So we're ahead of places like Mexico, where it originated, in Peru, and some other South American countries. United States always top of the pile because of the size of their media platforms. Brazil is number 2 on the pile, and then Spain. So it's a big story. It's definitely amongst the youth. It's got a lot of parents worried. I think from a parent's perspective, it's always good to go and do your own investigation to see what's being said out there.
What are parents talking about on social media with regards to this? I'm sure everyone's concerned. I mean, I'm concerned. I've got a 14-year-old boy. I've spoken to him. He's been introduced to this kind of thing at school, but I don't quite know how to take this matter on with a school or what kind of recourse does one have?
I think there is quite a bit of panic. What's interesting is on our charts, what was highlighted was Boksburg more than any other area in Gauteng as an area that's really concerned about the challenge. I think the advice to parents at home is to go and do your investigation. It really isn't as big a deal as what we tend to panic as parents, obviously, right? So I think go and do your homework. Like I said, there's a lot of spoof out there, and there's a lot of children who are taking the mickey out of the Charlie Charlie challenge more than they are taking it seriously. But there's always those selected few that are taking it
what
to
are people
level.
saying about the legitimacy of the, let's call it the witchcraft element in it, where Charlie talks to you and things move? Some scientists say, no, it's just gravity. What are people saying about this?
I also saw that gravity insert. It was quite a big one as well, and it was heralded across social media networks that it is just simply gravity moving the pencil or the pen or whatever it is they're using. And yeah, I think there's a lot of misconception out there, and I don't think there should be too much panic. I think it comes to the children themselves. If they're going to take it seriously, you have a problem, you know, and that's when you should engage your child on a different level and explain that probably is just gravity.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But we do see this kind of sharing happening a lot, though.
We do. And we've seen a lot of satanic or demonic type stuff coming out over the past couple of years. I mean, we had that satanic temple open up in the States. That caused a big outcry on social media. So, yes, there are these things out there, but they were there before. We just didn't have social media before to make it into such a big fuss.
You mentioned that. Is there a general spike in kids interacting with Satanism and demonic practice and so forth on the platforms?
Not as far as I've seen, not compared to things like following Kylie Jenner and posting things like that. So I think the element of youth and innocence is still there.
They still have their priorities. They still have their priorities in order then, Tonya.
Let's hope so.
Thanks for joining us this morning. Tonya Curry is the Managing Director of Roy Africa. She always comes in and gives us fantastic stories, or fantastic background to these stories. There's always mass hysteria that surrounds all these kinds of news stories, I can tell you. And Tonya says, well, the kids aren't more involved than what they've always been. So we shouldn't panic, but we should keep an eye on how they manage themselves on social media. Thanks again, Tonya.
You're welcome.